Coming up on the official Celtic FC podcast, Julián Araujo reveals what inspires him in his career, reflects on what it means for him to play for Mexico, and he shares his ambitions for the rest of the season.
I think having Celtic and all of the fans, if they're with us all the way and we're with them, and I know they will be. This is unstoppable.
Hello and welcome to the official Celtic FC podcast. I'm Matthew Campbell, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Julián Araujo right here in our studio at Lennoxtown. Julián, thanks very much for joining me. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be on here today.
It's great to get a chance to sit down and speak to you. You know, you're not long in the door here at Celtic Football Club, but you've really settled in incredibly well. How much are you enjoying it here?
Yeah, obviously, I think it's, I've mentioned it before previously while being interviewed, it's all credit due to the staff, to my teammates, to everybody involved at Celtic. The people here in Glasgow were very welcoming. My teammates welcome me with open arms, so I think they made the adjustment really, really easy for me. And when everything else on the outside of soccer or football go smoothly, then football is a lot easier for me just to focus on the sporting side. So I'm enjoying life here. I'm enjoying the football, and hopefully we can continue like this.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're speaking, we're just a few days on from a dramatic cup win against Dundee at Celtic Park. You've done really well not to touch the ball from Adamu's flick. It was a really, fantastic way for the game to end for us. Go all the way to extra time, win the match. What was the atmosphere like in the dressing room after that one? Yeah,
it's a game where we suffered. Like I said before, it was a game where I think Dundee came and I think they played well. I think they held. They were defensively organized, and I think when they had the ball, they tried to do damage. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I always say, we stuck to our principles. We knew how we wanted to play, and whether it's the goal came in the first minute or in the 90th. We knew it was going to come. We just had to stick to our playing style and how we wanted to do things. But yeah, obviously I wasn't going to touch the ball because it was already going in, so there was nothing for me to do. But yeah, I think it was a good result. We moved forward, and obviously now in the next round we have Rangers. So now we just not really looking too far ahead. We're focused on the Livingston game on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the cup draw. Like you say, it's a good few weeks away, but I mean that week is going to be pretty intense, given the fact that we've got an away game in Stuttgart, away at Ibrox, away at Aberdeen, and then back there for the cup. I mean, as a footballer, are those the sort of little periods in time that you just that you relish? That amount of pressure.
Yeah, I think those are the games that we want to play. I think. Every game from now until the end of the season is going to be a tough game. I don't think there's going to be a easy game where we walk in knowing that we're going to win. I think every game is we have to stay humble, our feet on the ground, and we got to stick to what we want to do and keep focused. I think we just take it game by game. Those days are weeks ahead. So I think for me, it's just focusing on Wednesday and trying to get through that, because most importantly, we have to get 3 points on Wednesday. Yeah,
absolutely correct. We'll chat a little bit about that, and in terms of the title race and so on as we're chatting here. But let's chat a little bit about yourself, because I'm interested whenever we get the chance to sit and chat. Take us back to your youth, growing up in California. What was it always football for you? What's your earliest sort of football memory?
Yeah, so I think. It's always been football for me. I think it's everything I always wanted to do. I think as a young boy, it was always my dream to become a professional footballer. So, my parents, all the sacrifices that they had to make to get me to where I am today, it's all credit to them. I think I wouldn't be here without them. Just playing at the park with my brothers, my friends, my neighbors, just gathering, putting trash, getting in trouble because we used to take out the trash cans and put them as the goal posts, and sometimes even just using our shoes or our sandals. But yeah, those were probably my favorite memories as a kid. Where you have to go under a car because a ball got stuck underneath the car. So I think those are the most enjoyable, and I think that's what really when I'm on the pitch, it's just living that, because there's a lot of sacrifices that go behind the scenes to get me to where I am today, and I'm very grateful for it.
And it's interesting. We spoke a couple of weeks ago, just on the phone. We were doing an interview for one of the match day programs, and we spoke about this. And I was asking you about, do you enjoy the pressure of the title race in every match? Mm-hmm. But I found it really interesting because you said on the phone to me that yes, I enjoy it, but in actual fact, the real pressure in life are the pressures that a working family go through to sort of make those kind of sacrifices. Looking back, you mentioned your parents there. Is this the inspiration for you in your career?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is what keeps me going. Obviously, I've heard stories of with my family, my dad, my mom, what they had to go through as a young kid. My dad sold bread or sold candy as a young boy. When he was 16, 15, he had to start working early. He had to become a man really early, and I think the hard work that he instilled in our family is just it's something that's in our blood. There were times where he would come home and he didn't have anything to eat, and a neighbor gave him food. So I think having those memories. And when he tells me, hard work, this is hard work, or that was pressure, somebody that is spending their last dollar or pound just to spend and watch us play. I think that's something that with us in the Mexican national team, our coach Javier Aguirre always mentions that is there's a lot of Mexicans that are going to be at the games, and there's so many of them that spend their last dollar just to go watch us play. There's a little kid that might not ever be able to watch us again because this is their only opportunity, and I think that's why our national team has been going the way it has been. He's really instilled. It gives me goosebumps talking about it because he talks about the reality of life, the human part of life, and I think. That's just how I go about my days. I think I lost my best friend at a young age. I think 5 years ago, and you can't take a day for granted. You have to enjoy every day. You have to be happy. You have to enjoy the little things. And I think for me that's really how I live my life. Is I live it by the day, by the second. I enjoy it, and I try to give my all because after today I can be gone, and I just want to leave a good impression. And I think. That's for me is the most important.
Yeah, and it's a really quite an interesting mindset to have, as a professional. You mentioned there this understanding of the fact that for so many football supporters, this is their life, this is their outlet, this is what they spend, whatever extra money that they might have. Yeah. This is their enjoyment. So I mean, and for Celtic Football Club, it's no different. Obviously, for the Celtic supporters who have really taken to you. You're probably hearing it. I'm sure if you've bumped into anybody in the street, you'll be receiving those kind of compliments. So is that even present in your mind playing at Celtic Park or away from home for Celtic?
Yeah, I think everywhere I've gone, I've been recognized by a Celtic fan, and just the way they talk about it, you can hear it in their voice, you can see the passion, you can see it in their eyes, the way they live this badge and this club, and I think that's really what motivates me to want to even do it more. But yeah, like I've said, everybody has been very nice, whether it's to me or to the people that I'm with. So I think it's what motivates me. I want to continue to keep playing well. I got to keep my foot on the gas, and I just got to stay consistent. And I think God will take care of the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still chatting obviously about you growing up. Who was your team that you supported as a youngster?
I can't tell you.
No.
I have, growing up in a Mexican household, I was always, watching the Liga MX. But I think in Barcelona was obviously my team that I grew up watching. But I think mostly at my household, I was watching Liga MX. And if I say my team on here, I think. People will start saying things, so I'm just going to keep it on the low.
Keep it confidential. But let's talk
I'll keep them guessing.
Yeah, a little bit of mystery on the pod. We like it. Well, let's talk about Barcelona then, because of course you obviously have an eye on them as a kid, and of course you get the chance to go and put pen to paper and sign for Barcelona a few years back. What was that moment like for you then?
Yeah, I think it was life-changing. I think it was just, I was sleeping and my agent called me saying that they were interested. And, at that point I said I didn't really care what the money was. I didn't care what I had to do. If I needed to, I didn't know if I needed, I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I was going to get there. And I told him to do whatever he had to do and they needed to do to get it done. So for me, it wasn't really anything else but getting there, because I knew once getting there, I was going to learn from so many great footballers. Obviously, it was my registration was 18 seconds late, I think it was. So I think that part of it was very, very difficult. But I was training every day with the best players in the world, and I think I'm very grateful for that step in my career, because without that step, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else in life. I think everywhere that I've been has been a ladder, and I think. It was good to learn from very good people that I still talk to now, and I think I learned so many great things. And then going on loan to Las Palmas was also a very good step in my career. And I think there's a ladder to everything, and you just have to embrace it all. I was with them, at the games. I was training every day and eating with them. And I think it was a very difficult time, because obviously as a footballer you want to play. But just training and learning, you can see why Jordi Alba is one of the best left backs in the world. And Busquets, Frenkie de Jong, Pedri, Gavi, Lamine was also coming up when I was there. It's crazy to even think about it, because one of my first possession games, I lost the ball a lot. It was definitely a big transition, and I think after you just get into it, the rhythm. After one of the possession games, I just spoke to Jordi Alba, and it's just easy to me now, and I would see it, because he wouldn't even move. He just knew where everybody was, and he didn't need to take 2 touches, and it's impressive. I always think about that training session where I was always just staring at him, and he's just, you can put a basketball hoop up there anywhere, and he'd say, okay, I'll make it, and he'd shoot it, and technically he's amazing. But yeah, it was definitely one of the best experiences in my life, and I'm very grateful for that step.
Yeah, and obviously, as you describe it there, it sounds like a wonderful learning curve for you in your career as well. Like you say, you went to Las Palmas, you're playing in La Liga, one of the best leagues in the world, unbelievable standard. Even that in itself must have been helping you to develop and grow as a player.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the steps, before leaving Barcelona on loan, I spoke to Garcia Pimienta, which was the coach at Las Palmas. He was at Barcelona B before. So I think that was just, he was a key factor in getting me over there. They wanted to play the Barca style. Xavi Hernandez also told me, that was a great step, because he knew him. He knew that he was going to play the Barca style, and that was probably one of my better chances. I went there, and I played well. Great. We had a very good team. We were a team that loved possession. That if we lost the ball, we would get it back really quick. And if you ask any team in La Liga during that year, we were one of the best teams in the first half of the season. And I think the second half was a little bit tougher for us, but yeah, I think we had a very great team, and a lot of players went off to sign contracts at other clubs. But yeah, I support them, and I have a big. They hold something special in my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell that as well, the way that you describe it there. Let's chat a little bit about the international scene, because you mentioned there, the international manager and what it means to the Mexican people as well. But having a look through, your international numbers and records and stuff like that, I find it quite interesting that you came through all the youth levels with the USA, but then of course switch to the Mexico national side. What prompted that decision on your part?
Yeah, like I said, I grew up in a Mexican household. I think my dream and my goal was always to play at the Estadio Azteca. I idolized Rafa Márquez, Andrés Guardado, Chicharito Hernández, Giovanni Dos Santos, Jonathan Dos Santos, all these, Memo Ochoa, Raúl Jiménez. I can name so many players. I idolized all of them, and I always dreamed of playing with them and putting on the Mexican jersey. And I don't think I ever had that feeling with the U.S. national team. I never woke up to watch a U.S. game. I always woke up. We always had family barbecues. You know, you could have all my uncles and everybody drinking at a Mexican when the Mexican team was playing, when the Mexican national team was playing. So I think that's really what just, you know, I grew up with the U.S. and, you know, obviously I love and respect the U.S. and, you know, obviously it's a part of me. So I just always felt like it was my dream, and, you know, I was never given that opportunity because I didn't have my Mexican passport. I didn't make the switch earlier. But I think my goal and my dream was always, I always had my mind set on the Mexican national team for sure.
And it's a dream and a
It's
goal
a dream come true. I think
fulfilled.
it was a dream it was a decision that I made at heart. But it was something that I'll never forget. Even if I had just played one game with the Mexican national team, I think it was just the feeling that I had when I put on the shirt and my last name was on my shirt, and just to be able to bring that back home and show my family. I think that's what really gave me like pride, and I think that's something that I really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. And well, you know, and like we say, you know, it's a goal that you've reached, you've achieved it. Do you remember your debut?
Yeah.
What describe that feeling then?
Well, yeah, I think it was like a friendly match against Chile. I think it was on the 9th of December, I think, or the 10th, somewhere around there. Yeah, it was crazy because I had my family there. It was in the U.S., Austin, Texas, I think it was. And I had I had a lot of my family there. And yeah, I mean, it's one of the best feelings in the world when you're singing the hymno, the anthem. But I can't describe it. I think it's just something that I feel like it makes my heart pound, like race, and it's a good feeling because, you know, it's the players that I once dreamed of playing or watching or idolized, and now I'm eating with them or talking to them, and now it's weird to even like shake their hand every day, or they're smacking you or whatever it is, you know. But I think it's one of the best feelings, and a feeling that I'll never forget.
That's brilliant. You know, as well as we're chatting about this, of course, you've won 2 CONCACAF Gold Cups with Mexico. What's the feeling like being a winner? Because obviously we can see what it means to you to have, you know, to be representing your country, but then to win with your country, that must be so special for you.
It's something that you don't. I think I don't compare it to anything. You know, I think winning a trophy with the Mexican national team. You know, like I said, I dreamed of playing at the Estadio Azteca, of lifting up trophies, of scoring a goal. I haven't scored a goal with the Mexican national team, but I dream of those things. You know, I dreamt of them, and you know, I want to continue to fight for things that I still feel and that I still haven't accomplished yet, and that was one of them, and I'm grateful to have accomplished it. And yeah, like I said, it's one of the best feeling in the world. And I think, you know, a lot of people, if you don't know, you Mexicans can party, and you can only imagine how the parties were when we won.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. You speak about playing at the Estadio Azteca. You've obviously played there a couple of times. Celtic Park is also a very special place, but the Azteca, one of the great historic football stadiums, 87,000 or something like that capacity. I mean, what's it like?
It's crazy because, you know, obviously I wasn't playing in Mexico, but I've never played in the Liga MX, but you can feel the altitude, and you can feel when the pressure is high. I think one of the times that I really felt it was when we went to Honduras, and we lost. It was to go, I think it was a CONCACAF or Nations League, I think it was. We lost in Honduras, I think like 3-0 or something like that, but where it was really tough for us to come back, and everybody, you know, our national team was, you know, it's okay, they got to come to the Estadio Azteca, and we ended up winning in aggregate, and yeah, it was, I don't even know what to tell you. It's crazy. It's like the place blew up. It's such a beautiful feeling, and you just hear everybody yelling, and even when you're on the stadium or on the bus to the stadium, or you're going home, you see all the little kids, everybody, you know, happy and wearing the Mexican jersey. You know, you still this is what I mean why I play the way I play, because, you know, you see little kids 3, 5, you know, moms are carrying little kids while they're working selling candies, and it's crazy because when you're on your way to the Estadio Azteca, that's all you see, and that's what motivates me. There's nothing else that motivates me. Is trying to, because us winning a football match is gonna make that little kid happy. So, that's why we keep going the way we do.
Yeah, no, I think it's a spot on mindset to have. Absolutely, I can only imagine then how much it would mean to you to be involved in the summer in the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that I'm working towards. I think it's a goal, and it's a dream for a lot of footballers, obviously, to make the World Cup, and obviously it being at home, being in the U.S. and in Mexico and in Canada. I think there's the Mexican national team coach Javier Aguirre played in the World Cup in Mexico, and he said I can't say the word. He always mentions that he won't ever forget that feeling. Yeah. So he always tries to get that instilled in us, is you got to work hard for it. You got to want it, because this is a moment that you'll never forget, especially it being at home. But yeah, I think that's really what I'm working hard for. I'm trying to just focus on myself, focus on what I can do to prepare each and every day to stay healthy, to stay consistent, to stay involved in my games. Because the most important thing right now is playing for Celtic and winning here and showcasing my talent, showcasing what I can do, and helping my team be the best we can possibly be. And then at the end of the day, when the time comes, I want to be able to get to May or whatever the day comes, where the Mexican national team coach has to give out the roster and say that I gave it my all, and whatever happens is in the hands of God, and I trust him, and I whatever happens, whatever team goes to the World Cup is, I think they're going to do well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And well, you link us sort of perfectly there into back to Celtic again, because of course, like you say, it's all about the performances in the hoops for you just now, which have been going really well. How have you been enjoying, working with Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney here at Celtic? Because obviously they're big legends at the club in their own right. So how are you getting on with them?
Yeah, I think I'm enjoying it a lot. I think you can see that I am. I think they're letting me play freely. I think they're not really giving me much in my head to do. They're not giving me a lot of specifics. I think they're just keeping it really simple for me. They know my capabilities. They know what I'm doing. Excuse me. But yeah, I think Martin O'Neill is just very, very honest. Very, he knows what he wants. He knows what he's gonna tell you. He'll tell you if you play bad. He'll tell you if you played well. He'll tell you what he doesn't want you to do. But it's been really good. I think I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it definitely, and I think you can see that the squad is also enjoying it. Our performances have been good, whether we haven't played well or I feel like we still know what we can give, and after like the last game we knew it was going to be tough, but we grinded it out and we did whatever we could. But yeah, I'm enjoying every part of it. Not just Sean and Martin, Fozzie, Mick, and everybody. I think everybody involved in his staff has been very good. So I'll credit to them, because I think also all the analysts, they've also helped me. I'm a guy that likes to learn and look at film a lot. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. And this is only the beginning. It's only been I don't even know if it's been a month since I've been here. So I'm still excited for the rest of the season to go. There's still a lot more that I know that I can learn and that I can give, and I'm sure they're going to be a very big part of it.
Yeah. Well, final question, and you're talking about the rest of the season. We know that it's an intense kind of run-in that we're involved in domestically, also still in Europe as well. How's the feeling in amongst the squad right now?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're very good. We're good. I think coming into to the training ground today, they spoke about the Scottish Cup draw. Playing at Ibrox. I think they're gonna have. I think we have a capacity of 8,000. Or I don't know what they said, but they said that it's going to be one of the best atmospheres. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it all. I can't get too far ahead, but just got to take it game by game. I'm excited. This team has a lot of confidence. We have a lot of quality. We have players that want to play. We brought in new players, and it's all a competition now. And I think everybody is fighting for their spot now because we have players. It's the end of the window, and everybody wants to play now. So we have a good group of guys, and I think we're going to need every single one of us to be ready because at any time, any moment, someone can be called upon, and just got to be ready. But I'm excited because I heard that usually Celtic or Rangers would have already won the league by now. And this is the beauty about it because now we've got to fight for it, and nothing is, this is real. This is what it is now. So I think having Celtic and all of the fans, if they're with us all the way and we're with them, and I know they will be, this is unstoppable. So I'm excited, and we'll see. It's still a lot more football to go. So I think we have the right mindset, and we just got to stick to it game by game, and hopefully we can keep going.
Here's hoping we're on the top come the end. Julián, thank you very much for taking a bit of time to chat to us today. And thank you very much for watching or listening to this episode of the official Celtic FC podcast with Celtic's Julián Araujo. Thank you very much, and hail hail.